All right, so this is a quick follow along for the stability and mobility complex. And the first thing we're going to get started with is just a reach to deep squat. So we're just going to be standing up, reaching down, trying to hook ourselves under our toes. We want to hold this stretch position for about 3 seconds. And then from here, we're going to pull ourselves down into a deep squat as low as we can go and holding for about 3 seconds. As we get down here, we want to really focus on pushing the knees forward and pulling the hips down. It's okay if we're stuck up here and we can't get any lower, that's fine. You can just really focus in on pushing the knees forward and trying to keep the heels on the ground as we try to sink the hips lower, lower, and lower to get into this comfortable position. From here, we'll reverse back into the stretch. Then we'll come back down. That'll be 2 reps. We're going for 5 total. So again, 3 seconds at each position, actively trying to get deeper into the stretch and deeper into the squat. If you're very good at maxing out the depth on the squat, the next step would be to try and open up the chest, sit as upright as we can as we have those hips down. And we'll reverse back out of it. And let's get 1 more rep back down. All right. So that was the reach to deep squat. After that, we're going to get into the wall slides. So for the wall slides, I like to have my knees bent, back up against the wall. Try to have lower back in contact with the wall as well as your shoulder blades and head. From here, we want to maintain that lower back against the wall, so you don't want to be able to slide your hand under there. Flatten out the back. From here, we're going to put our arms up at a 90-degree angle. Rotate them up so that our palms are on the wall. Sorry. We want to try and push the backs of the hands up against the wall while still maintaining that lower back touching the wall. From here, we'll hold for 3 seconds, and then we'll slide up. Not all the way, but just a little bit. Hold for another 3 seconds, and then slide back down the whole time. I'm actively pressing my hands back up against the wall. So that'll be 1 rep. Again, we're going to go for 5 in total. Trying to keep the core tight again, keeping the lower back in contact, as well as the hands, shoulders, and head. All right, we'll go 2 more reps. Last one. All right. From there, we'll get into our 90-90 hip flips. So for the 90-90, both of our legs are going to be sitting at a 90-degree angle. So 90 degrees with the back leg, 90 degrees with the front leg. It's okay if it's not perfect, but from here, we want to try and be able to hold ourselves up. If you need to, you can support yourself with one hand, but do your best to try and keep your body weight up on its own. From there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the back leg. I want to open it up, pry my hips apart without letting my front leg come up as much as I can. Once I can't get any further, then I'll let the back leg rise, and I'll flip down to the other side. And same thing. Open it up as much as you can. Once you can't get any further, let the other hip come with it. Then we're slow and controlled back down. Again, 5 reps. When we're in this middle section, we're still trying to pry the hips apart. We don't want to let them relax together. Pull them open as you continue to rock to the other side. And again, we'll do 5 reps going to both sides. So that would be 2. Three. 4. Last one. And 5. All right. After that, we have ankle rockers. So with our ankle rockers, this is something that you can do up against a wall or just out in the open. Either one is fine. But we're going to be kneeling, and our goal is to push our knee as far past our toes as we can get without the heel coming up off the ground. So we want to really put all of our weight into it, drive that knee forward. Again, if you have a wall, which you should for the wall slides, something you can do is use the wall as a target. So we'll be up in that kneeling position, and I'll use the wall. I'll try to reach the wall, see if I can touch it without my heel coming up off the ground. And you can start close, and every time that you reach it, you'll just back up a little bit and go again. Again, once you reach it, just back up a little bit further. All right, so again, we'll do 5 reps on each side. 3-second hold. That'll be 1. Again, really put your weight into it. It's okay to push down on the leg. What you want to be thinking about with your feet is we want to think about pulling the toes up. I want to pull my big toe up, turn on the muscles in my shin. That way I can actively pull myself deeper into this ankle flexion. All right, let's get one more rep. All right, then we'll switch sides. And just about 3-second hold, then relax back out of it. Remember, as you're going, think about pulling the toes up. Our body weight will keep them on the ground, but by pulling them up, we'll work to close that ankle. And one more rep. All right. The last thing we have in the mobility section is our 3-way hamstring stretch. So you'll take a band or something like a large bath towel. You'll put it around the bottom of one foot. From there, we'll lay back to the ground. Legs straight up in the air. Flex the quad. Flex the hip flexors to really try and actively pull that leg in position. And we'll hold it up tall for about 20 seconds. The whole time, again, I want it to be active. The band is helping us, but we don't want the leg to just hang loose while we pull. I want you to think about actively squeezing the quad and squeezing the hip flexor to pull the leg up into place. Let's go about 10 more seconds. All right, we're going to be doing the same thing. Now we're going to drop the leg down to the side. So again, the band's there to help us, but we want to actively be pulling that leg into the stretch position. Don't let the band do all the work. Use the muscles. Again, the whole point of mobility is actively putting ourselves into deeper ranges of motion. Stretching is very passive, letting kind of gravity or our body weight do the work for us. In this case, for mobility, I really want you to think about contracting the muscles, putting that limb into the position. That way, when you're out in the real world, you can actively get into those deeper ranges of motion without having to worry about injuries or not having control over that range. All right, then we're just going to bring it across our body for the last 20 seconds. All right, Now let's switch legs. We'll do the exact same thing. And wrap it around the foot, lay back, pull that leg up with the band, then use the quads, use the hip flexors, try and keep it in position, making sure that the band is not doing all the work for us. Ten more seconds. All right, then let's drop it down to the side. Try to keep it as low as you can too, close to the floor. We don't want it way up high and out to the side. Get it low, really open up those hips while we pull. Another 10 seconds. All right, then we'll bring it across to finish out. Another thing to be mindful of when we're bringing the leg across, we don't want our whole upper body rolling with it. We want to try and keep our back laying on the ground. That will actually turn our hips. If I just turn my whole body, then it's the same thing as if I'm doing my leg straight up in the air, just I'm laying on my side instead of my back. So keep the shoulders on the ground, open up, really let the hips come across. We'll go for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. All right, so that is what we have for our mobility section. And getting into the stability, so working through our core, our hips, our shoulders, our ankles, trying to get everything nice and sturdy for when we're actually moving. We have a couple different exercises. The first one we're going to get into are the ankle rotations. So just find something to sit on, whether it's a chair, a couch, doesn't matter. We'll take a mini band and put it just around our ankles. And from there, you can take either a large water bottle, a foam roller, or a pillow, just something between the knees. That way, we don't let the knees do the work. If the knees move, the thing will drop. We don't want that. So hug it with the knees, feet fairly wide. Then when we do the rotations, we're just working on trying to turn our feet apart from each other and let them come back in. So big things to focus on is when I'm pulling those ankles apart, I'm thinking big toes up and out to the side. I really want to flip them away from each other and then bring them back in slow and in control. So we'll do 10 reps of this. And big toes up and away, relax together, and you can even get a little bit more internal rotation by pulling up the pinky toes. And let's go back to a second rep. We're gonna do 10 of these. And squeeze the foam roller with the knees. That way the ankles are what's moving, not our whole leg. 4, 5, halfway, and really try to hold that external rotation position for about 3 seconds. Squeeze the ankles, trying to build up that mind-muscle connection, feeling like we have control through the range. Let's get 3 more reps. And 1 more. All right, so that's 1 set of these. We're going to do that 2 more times, but first we're going to go down the rest of the list. The next thing we have is our knee hover with alternating shoulder taps. So we're going to be on our hands and knees. From here, I want the hands to be a little bit more narrow than shoulder width apart. And then we're just going to pop the knees up an inch above the ground. From here, I'm just going to pick up one hand and tap the opposite shoulder, put it down, and switch sides. So as we're going, that would be 1 rep. We're going to do 10 total. As we're going, the focus should be to not let the hips swivel side to side, not let our shoulders go up and down. We want to keep everything steady. Do your best not to move at all as we tap the opposite shoulders. So we're at 3 reps. 5. 3 more. Last one. And relax. All right. From there, we're back to our chair for some towel pulls. Towel pulls, you can use a towel, you can use a t-shirt, really whatever you have lying around. But we're going to be strengthening the muscles that squeeze our toes. So when we are running, jumping, whatever it is, the last point of contact is always going to be that big toe off, pushing off. So if we don't have the connection to those muscles, we're really missing out on that final push. So what we'll do is we'll grab a towel, put it underneath the toes, and we'll just grab the towel and squeeze. Just want to pull the towel closer to you for 10 reps. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So if you have something small and it gets bunched up quickly, you can just spread it back out. If you've never used the muscles in your feet before, don't be surprised if they start to cramp up a little bit. If that's the case, you can just grab a lacrosse ball, roll out the bottom of the feet, or just massage it with your hands to try and get them to relax. And after that, the last exercise we have is our quadruped pull through. So this is pretty similar to our knee hover, but rather than tapping the shoulders, we're actually just going to reach through, grab a weight, and pull it to the other side. So we're trying to have a little bit more stability through a rotational movement rather than just staying still. So I'll be on hands and knees again. I'll pop the knees up, hands a little bit more narrow. And as I'm going to reach through, pull the dumbbell to the other side, replace my hand, and then bring it back. So that'll be 1 rep. We're going to go for 10 total. And while we're going, do your best not to let the hips move. Try your best not to rise up and down. And I'm just using a 10-pound dumbbell, but you can use any sort of medium weight object. So you could just use a water bottle, you could use a book, whatever you can. I've lost count of how many reps I've done, but we're going for 10 in total. If I had to guess, I'll say that was 6, so I'll do 4 more. Last one. All right, and that is everything for the stability exercises. So our ankle rotations, our knee hover with opposite shoulder touch, the towel pulls, and the quadruped pull through. All of those you'll repeat 2 more times, and then you'll be done with the workout.